Okay, so basically we've already done this stuff, but I'll just run through it real quick and I'll just show you how quickly you can do it. Obviously you're gonna take your time, but let's see. Weather, density, altitude, I've already checked that. Weight and balance, I've checked that, we're good. Performance required, that's talking about the distance of runway we need. We have plenty of runway today, I've already checked that. Documents, aero, we'll talk about those another day, but basically the documents for the plane. And your documents for you, the pilot. Flaps extended, we already extended those, and then we turned the master on. We checked this. We actually didn't check the stall indicator, but I'm good with that. That's this light right here. When we take off, we'll just kind of keep an eye on that. Lights, indicator test, we checked all the lights. Fuel gauges, they were true. So, and then we turned the master back off. Fuel quantity, fuel quality, those were good. Cap strains and vents, those are both on now. Engine oil belt, we checked that. Prop air intake, we checked that. Exhaust system, I checked that. Surfaces and controls, we checked that. Pitot and static ports, we did check that. There's no cover on there. Gear, tires, brakes, there was no chocks, so that's good. And the gear and tires were good. Antennas were good. Tires and chocks, there were no chocks. Final walk around, that's basically what I did when I stood up there. Because sometimes when you go up front, you can kind of see if like the airplane's leaning or something. This particular airplane doesn't have a baggage door, so we'll just skip that. We don't have passengers today, but what I will say is that for you and me, we'll once again try for 3 transfers of aircraft control if we need to change controls. If you hear 2, then controls have changed, but we'll always shoot for 3. And then if you ever wonder who's flying, just ask and we'll just confirm that. You will film me on the controls because this is like lesson 1, so but that doesn't mean I'm flying. Just fly until you hear me say my controls. Fuel on the proper tank, either one's good for now. Circuit breakers, those are all right here. We'll just make sure those, actually these are fuses in this particular plane, those are circuit breakers up top. Those are all in and good. Brake pedal test, I mean you can just push the brakes, but make sure they work. And then I think, looks like somebody's already got the parking brake on for us. Okay, seat track lock, make sure it's not gonna come off on you. Avionics off, that's here. We'll wait to turn that on. So the way this is going to work is we're going to start the engine, and once the engine's going, then we'll turn the avionics master, because if that's on, the engine can spike and tear stuff up, so we'll just leave that off until after. Carb heat off, where is that? It's here in this plane. Beacon on, that has to be on anytime we're operating the aircraft. Mixture full rich, that's full rich. And then where are we here? Throttle slight open. So what that means is about a 1/4 inch. So just stick it out a 1/4 inch and push it in about a 1/4 inch. Prime as required. This engine's pretty hot, but I'll show you one. So basically just twist this and until it comes out, and then just push it back in, and then just make sure it's locked. But this, it probably doesn't even need to be primed. All right, brakes, you're holding those, and the parking brake's also set. And turn the master on for me, and then you get to start this. So just start it with this one and just kind of jockey it until it comes on, and once the engine spools up, then just bring it back to 1,000 RPM. Oh wait, I forget this plane has a, go ahead and go to both here, and then that's the starter. So hand on the throttle again, and this plane has a starter button. We might actually need to prime it a little bit more. Yeah, let's do that a couple times. Yeah. And then, yep, slide it in there, make sure it's locked. I don't think it's locked. Yeah, see, if that comes out, that can bleed our fuel. So, all right, give me a try again here. Clear. Hello?
Hello.
Gotcha. So this plane's kind of weird. Normal planes, most planes, you won't actually be able to hear anybody until you turn the avionics master on. So just know, like, if I can't talk, it's probably because the avionics master is not on. But this plane's, they wired it to where the intercom is actually that way, so we're good. Okay, so now we want to just make sure that our oil pressure's in the green. It's coming up here. Actually, that's one thing I forgot. I should have had the fuel pump on for the start. That probably would have helped us start it.
Okay.
I missed that. Yeah, I missed that on the checklist here. Max to bow start engine. Oil pressure is in the it's coming up in the green here. Fuel pump is now off. Fuel pressure check. So fuel pressure. So anytime you turn off the fuel pump, the fuel pressure should still stay up like around 5. Because what that is, this is an extra fuel pump. This isn't the fuel pump. We have a mechanical fuel pump in the engine. That's just an extra one. Anytime we're taking off, landing, or flying close to the ground, we just have that on just in case that the one in the engine dies on us. All right, lights as required. Beacons fine for today. Mixture as required. We're going to be full rich today. If you're like at high altitude, that's when you would adjust this right here.
So yeah. We need our nav and instrument lights on bright?
Either one right now. You would turn them on bright at night.
Okay.
All right, seat belts. Make sure you're buckled up. Flaps are up now. Heat vent defrost. I'm not too worried about that. I'm going to go ahead and check my flight controls here. And basically, wherever you point your thumbs, that aileron is going to come up. Aileron up. And then the stabilator up. You can't see it in this plane. In Cessnas and stuff, you could actually see that. You can check yours. Yeah, so elevator, aileron up, stabilator up, stabilator down, and then you also check the rudders down here. You can't really do that too well when we're parked, but we'll kind of check it when we're, all right, heat vent defrost, those are good. Avionics on set. So avionics already on. Transponder to alt, we're already squawking. That just gives ATC our altitude. ATIS AWOS. So now we're going to get the weather. So for this particular, you'll get a chart. When you get a chart, yeah, thank you. Should be back at 1,000. When you get a chart, this will tell you that this frequency right here is the weather for here.
At 1 knots. Visibility more than 10. Sky condition clear below 12,000. Temperature 1 tree Celsius. Altimeter 2996 inches of mercury.
2996.
North Little Rock Municipal Airport. Automated weather observation 2044 Zulu. Wind 210 at 9 knots. Peak gust 14 knots. Visibility more than 10. Sky condition clear below 12,000. Temperature 1 tree Celsius. Dew point -1 Celsius.
So the most important thing there is like winds for which runway you need to take off, and then like the ceilings and visibility. So the ceilings and visibility are fine. So the best runway is actually 2.
We're looking for you visually.
So we're going to taxi way down there and take off that way. You could take off this way like this guy's doing, but that runway's kind of small and it's a crosswind, so we're just going to go all the way down. All right, so we've got the ATIS, the AWOS altimeter set. That's what I adjusted there, and it should closely match what the airport elevation is. So here in North Little Rock, it's like just under 600, so that's close enough. Taxi light as required. I'm not too worried about that. If it is nighttime, you might turn it on so you can see. And then as we're taxiing out, we're going to get the brakes. We'll check the brakes as we're taxiing out. You ready to go?
I guess.
Okay. Unset the parking brake for me there. You just pull up. You don't need your thumb for that. Yep. There, and then release. Okay. And then just taxi forward slow and check your brakes for me. There you go. Check the brakes. Okay. And then basically after that you say, okay, my brakes are good. Check yours.
Okay.
You say that to me.
My brakes are good. Check yours.
My brakes are good. All right, your controls.
My controls.
Your controls. So keep your hand on the throttle and just keep it right at 1,000. What's he doing here? Hold on just a second. And we need to make a radio call. We're just telling people that we're taxiing to 23 from North Little Rock Air. We'll just kind of wait for this guy, see what he does. North Little Rock traffic, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, taxiing from North Little Rock Air over to 23 North Little Rock. It's a cool plane. All right, you're good to go. Go that way. probably the next thing you need to get is like a little knee board, and you should have the airport diagram up. I know this airport pretty well, but if you have the airport diagram up, you can kind of see where to go. You can also you can print it out, you can put it on an iPad. All right, we're fixing to cross this runway. If you're at a towered airport, you would want to make a radio call before we crossed. We still want to make a radio call, but you have to get clearance at a towered runway. So you can cross, we're clear. North Little Rock traffic, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, taxiing across 1735 at Charlie, North Little Rock.
North Little Rock traffic, Trinidad 8 Tango Bravo, about 2 to the west, going to be entering right downwind for 23, North Little Rock.
So somebody's coming in for a right downwind. I didn't hear how far out he was, but going to 23, which is the runway we'll be taking off on. You can slow us down a tiny bit. Yeah, it just takes some getting used to.
Still backwards for me.
I think I might have asked you this, but have you driven a zero turn?
I've spent a lot of hours on one.
Oh, that's what's backwards, yeah, because it's backwards from a zero turn mower. You get used to it, though. In the next few lessons, I'll talk about how to use this. It's good to start getting used to it. I'm just going to put Conway in there for now, and then that'll just give us some situational awareness. We'll go do some maneuvers out here, out in the...
Oh, I see him straight ahead.
Oh, I see him now, too. Let's go do some maneuvers, and then we'll go over to Conway, do a couple touch and goes, and we'll come back. This will be pretty benign today. So I'm going to show you this really quick. When we come to the run-up area, you want to point it into the wind, and I'm going to take over, and I'm just going to kind of get things going kind of quick today. That way we can get out and get some flying in.
Okay.
So my controls.
Your controls.
My controls.
North Little Rock traffic, Trinidad 8 Tango Bravo, going around 2-3, stay in the pattern, North Little Rock.
Point it into the wind. You can see the sock right there in the middle of the field.
Yep.
So that's basically right in the middle there. So these checklists are kind of weird. We stopped right here at the taxi, or at the brakes, and now we're going to continue right here where we left off. So what I like to do is I like to just push the power up to 2,000, and then I'm going to show you a flow, like what you do, and then you come back to the checklist. That's the fastest way to do this. So we get the engine to 2,000. We're not moving, so that's 0. Let's go ahead and slave this. This one's in a weird spot, so we'll just twist this to match. 21, 21. Line on line, point on point. Fuel's good. Amps are good. Fuel pressure. Yeah, all these are good.
Okay.
Anytime you're with a little bit of power, this should be roughly 5. Almost every airplane out there. We're not going up and down. This is roughly our altitude. I'm not too worried about the GPS and stuff right now, but what we want to do next is we're going to watch this as we twist the mags. There's 2 settings. There's a right and a left and a low. We want to make sure,
short approach, 2-3, simulated engine mount.
Okay, so it's like 75 RPM, back to both. Drop it to the left mag now, about 50, back to both. And then we'll test the carb heat, and then idle, engine doesn't die, and then carb heat back off, and then just push the power back up. Now, it's hard to talk whenever that's super loud like that, but what we're testing here is with the power at 2,000, we're going to test each individual mag, and what that is like, it's almost like a distributor, but the difference is that they're separate from the main starter and ignition system. So if we lose electric, then we're still going to have power. So we just want to make sure that the drop isn't too much. So if the drop's more than like 150 in this plane per mag, then we want to go get it worked on. And they also need to be within, I believe, 75 of each other, which they were. All right, so we checked the brakes over there. The attitude indicator, we checked that. Turn coordinator, that's down here. Actually, I was watching that. That's one thing that you can't really check here. But when you're taxiing over, you basically just check to make sure that thing's turning when it's turning.
Okay.
High to compass, so that's heading indicator to compass. Reslave that. Brakes, hold firmly, which is what you're doing now. Avionics, fuel on the proper tank. Looks like, let's do left tank. We're on the left tank, okay. Yep. Trim set for takeoff. that's neutral. If the trim doesn't say takeoff on it, just go with neutral. Some planes will say takeoff, some of them will say neutral, but neutral. Flight controls, we checked those over there. That's what we did when we messed with this. Instruments, we checked all those. Mixture best power, that's full rich here. If you were at like Colorado or something, you might want to lean this, and I'll talk about that later. Primer in and lock, just double check to make sure that's locked. Just pull it straight back.
Yep.
There you go. Throttle 2000, we did that. Mags, we checked. Carb heat, we checked. Vacuum, that's that.
Yep.
Amps, volts, we checked that. Fuel pressure, we checked that. Oil pressure, that was good. Oil temp. Idle check, close, that's what we carb heat and idle to make sure that didn't die. And then the friction lock is just like this right here. If you feel like this is too loose, you can tighten that. And now for the pre-takeoff, so normal takeoffs will be flaps 0, so flaps up, mixture best power, that's full rich here. Fuel pump on, so turn on the fuel pump for me. Carb heat off. This is the most important one right here. This will kill you if you accidentally leave that on during a takeoff and there's short, like a trees in front of you.
Trend at 8 single Bravo, right down, wind 23.
Height and compass, we already did that. I'm not worried about that. Doors and windows. If you have a passenger, you can be like, hey, make sure your stuff's closed. And this one actually has a lock, so make sure that's locked. Your examiner might try to trick you. Lights as required, they're on. Transponder out, that's good. Time note, if you were doing a cross country, you might want to take note of the time, but we have a little bit over an hour. Brakes release. You ready to go?
Ready to go.
Okay. All right, so you can unset the parking brake. We're coming. Okay, he's 10 miles to the west. So kind of swing out like this so we can make sure that nobody's going to land on top of us.
North Little Rock traffic, trend at 8 Tango Bravo, turning final, 23, North Little Rock.
Okay, he's turning final. So we'll just swing out and we'll just kind of watch him. So if you want to kind of swing away and then look that way. Now when we park here, we want to be able to see the yellow line.
Yep, I see him coming.
So if, like in the future, you should always park where you can see the line. In bigger airplanes, you might actually be across it without knowing. So
Okay.
just in the future. This airport really doesn't matter. Okay, nobody else is coming. We don't have a tower, so we can go ahead and get on the runway behind him. We'll just kind of wait to see what he does before we take off. North Little Rock traffic, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, taking 23 for a west departure with the traffic in sight, North Little Rock. That just tells him that we know he's on the runway. We'll wait till he's clear. Okay, final check. We just have flaps up, carb heats off. We're ready to go. Fuel pump's on. Once again, we're going to rotate it. We're going to be using the inner ring all day today, so 65 is where we're going to rotate.
Okay.
So full power.
North Little Rock traffic, trend at 8 Tango Bravo, clear, 23.
Hands
Taxi
on the
to
yoke.
the east hangars.
There you go.
North Little Rock.
All right, keep your hand on the throttle in case we need to reject for some reason. We got good power. Oil pressure's in the green.
Airspeed's coming alive.
Good. Just waiting for 65 knots. There it is. Very good. And we'll just climb at 65 or 75 knots. Very good. And take a look down here at your ball. You might need a little bit of right rudder. This airspace is kind of tight, so the big thing is we need to stay below 1,800 feet here. So we're at 1,300 now. So 1,700 is or 1,600 is good. So once you get up to 1,600,
okay,
that's a pretty good altitude
North
for
Little Rock
right
traffic,
here.
Cherokee 4, 5 miles to the west.
North Little Rock traffic, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, 3 miles to the west, westbound North Little Rock. All right, so level off for me right here. Go ahead and pull the power back a little bit to like 2,300. Trim yourself, get yourself to where don't climb anymore for me. We're not in this other Charlie, but if you go much further, you will be. So, actually, go ahead and turn right. Go that way. We'll just stay at this altitude. I'm just keeping us from going into the Charlie here. That's Camp Robinson. We'll just try not to fly over it. Camp Robinson traffic, Cherokee 7348 Juliet. 2 miles to the south, we're westbound, Camp Robinson. They're actually on the same frequency as North Little Rock. Let's go ahead and pull that power back a little more. So it's hard to tell on this map, but this green here is the Charlie airspace. When we go out and practice, we just want to get outside of there. Come left, there's an airplane coming. You see him?
We got this guy coming right over.
Robinson traffic, Blade 27 is stood right base, landing a beam, runway 22, Robinson traffic.
Okay, I'm going to simulate some radio calls for you, and you just do your best to repeat them, and whatever I tell you to do, do it. Does that make sense?
Okay.
But actually, let me check something here. We won't be doing instrument stuff today, but next lesson we will. So, and the way it'll work is I'll give you like a heading or something, and then you'll just say the heading and then our call sign right here. All right, so Cherokee 7348 Juliet, climb and maintain 2000.
Maintain 2000, Cherokee 348 Juliet.
Good.
North
So,
traffic, Cherokee 40 Golf is 2 miles to the west.
Anytime you
right downwind for 23.
okay, he's back behind us. Anytime you climb, you'll want to put full power in. So go ahead and climb up to 2000 with full power. And then as soon as we get leveled off,
Wrong way.
You can take that back out. All right, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, make left turn 240.
Left turn 240, Cherokee 348 Juliet.
Now, I would make sure, unless ATC gives you that call sign, try to use the whole call sign.
Okay.
Because it can cause confusion in busier airspace. Now, if they come to you and say 48 Juliet, turn left, then you can use that. But for the most part, I typically try to, whatever they say, I say.
Okay.
All right, Cherokee 48 Juliet, make right turn 270.
Right turn 270, 7348 Juliet.
Good. Now, in that case, I did say 48 Juliet, so you could come back with 48 Juliet, but that works too. Let's see, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, make right turn 300.
Right turn 300, 7348 Juliet.
Good. Cherokee 7348 Juliet, make left turn 240, climb and maintain 3000.
Please repeat that, 7348 Juliet.
7348 Juliet, make left turn 240, climb and maintain 3000.
Left turn 240, maintain 3000, 7348 Juliet.
Good. Now, a little trick, because I was doing this in pilot training for the Air Force, the same thing you were. What the AIM says, you only have to say the numbers. So if you're like...
North traffic, Bear 956 here, Bravo 4500 feet, about 18 miles to the west, and then straight into 3 north of Rocky, 35.
Okay, somebody's out here, but they're above us. What the AIM says is you can just say the numbers and your call sign. So 3000, or sorry, 240 3000, 7348 Juliet. That's just a little bit easier for you, but it also keeps from cluttering the radios, if that makes sense. So
Sure.
future reference, that's just an easy way to do it. Okay, we're going to give this guy a few minutes and we're going to start our stuff.
North traffic, Cherokee 40 Golf is clear, T3 north right.
I still don't see this guy.
North Little Rock traffic, Trinidad 6 Tango Bravo, departing 23, north of Rock.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do some clearing turns. And there's a million different ways to do clearing turns, but basically we're just going to turn at least 90 degrees this way and at least 90 degrees that way and make sure we're not going to run into somebody out here. So just stay at this altitude and just kind of, yeah, so we're on 240, so come over here to like 150 and then just go back. And we're just clearing the area, make sure nobody's out here. Pull that power back a little bit for me. All right, so clear left. Let's do a clearing turn real quick. Just make a left turn to 150 for now. Looking all around. listening on the radios. We heard those two people over there. And look behind you too. All right, and then you can come back to the right. Okay, so after we get on a westbound heading over here, we're going to start the maneuvers. So you always start with clearing turns, especially on your check ride. You don't want to, because we're always clearing the area anytime we do maneuvers.
North low right traffic, turn that 8 Tango Bravo right downwind through 23, be the partner area.
We're always clearing the area anytime we do maneuvers, which you'll hear me say clear right when I'm turning right, and you'll hear me ask it like a question, clear left, and what that does is it forces you to look left, or at least help me, because I can't see through your head. So it's a little bit of gamesmanship, if you will. But so that's just a little trick to be like, clear right, that just tells the instructor or the DPE that I'm looking over there. And if you are just saying that, then that's bad, but it's just a little trick. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start out with slow flight. And what this is going to simulate is we're flying close to the ground, close to landing. So I like to start with the before landing checklist. So seatbelts on, fuel selector valve, left tank still good for now. Oh, I forgot the fuel pump for the takeoff. So we're going to leave the fuel pump off for this. We'll get the landing and taxi lights on. And now what we're going to do is we're going to get inside the wide arc. And this is a good altitude. We're in the wide arc. You can go ahead and start pulling this power back. And we're going to simulate that we're landing, or we're just going to stay on this altitude and this heading. So actually I'm going to let you lower the flaps.
Okay.
So reach down for me and slowly lower the flaps. And the airplane's going to try to climb, so you're going to have to fight against it. You can go a little faster than that.
Okay, that's one click.
Yep, lower them all. You can be a little faster.
2 clicks.
Bring them all the way up. Okay, they're all the way. Now you'll notice that we're like looking down a little bit more. That's because the flaps change our center of lift. So we want to fly, maintain this altitude, and we want to fly at the bottom of the wide arc. So, I'm sorry, looks like about 50 knots, roughly.
Okay.
So we're going to pitch for airspeed, and we're going to use power for altitude. We're descending, so yeah, there you go. I'm just going to pull this power back a tiny bit to get us bled off. So right somewhere in there. So pitch for airspeed, power for altitude, and put your hand on the throttle for me. Now that we're at our airspeed, yeah, it's going to take a little bit more. There we go. So pitching for airspeed, power for altitude. And this is what it's really going to feel like when we're landing. The controls are a lot more mushy than when you're flying around at high airspeeds. So give me a left turn to 180. And when you turn in slow flight, just use, yeah, this is 15 degrees of bank. That's more than enough to do what you need to do. And look at your ball. What you'll notice is that when you're slow flight, even left turns tend to take more right rudder because we have a lot of left turning tendencies. Give me a little bit of nose down to speed us back up. Getting a little slow. Yeah, not too bad. Now come back to 270 for me. Yeah. Now pull the power a tiny bit to descend us back down to 3,000. Just a tiny little bit. It doesn't take much. This is exactly what it's going to feel like when we're flying. Look at your ball. Might need a tiny bit more right rudder. There you go. Let's do one more. Cherokee 7348 Juliet. Make left turn 210.
210, 7
Anytime we're flying at slow airspeeds, our airspeed indicator is super important because that's what's going to keep us from dying. So honestly, altitude is important, and we're a little off our altitude. I'm expecting that today, but the most important thing is airspeed always. So, all right, you can come right 270.
270.
Okay, now I want you to level off at 270 here, or roll out at 270, and I want you to keep slow, but I want you to intentionally sink back down to 3,000. So don't pitch down, just pull the power a little bit. There you go. And we're still climbing ever so slightly. So we'll just kind of pull back a little bit more, pitch up just a little bit. There we go. Now we're starting to descend. A little bit less power. There's that light.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not trying to stall, we're just trying to descend here. I just want you to see, like, we're using power to control that descent. We're trying to descend. Anytime you're flying slow flight, that light should be coming on, because that's going to be roughly 5 to 10 knots above stall speed when that comes on. So that's the first indication that you're getting close to a stall in most airplanes. Sometimes it might be the second indication. The other indication is going to be what we call wing buffeting. And what that is just, I'll show it, you'll feel it here in a minute when I demo a stall, but it's just kind of the airplane shaking a little bit.
3,000.
All right, so feed that power back in a little bit to keep us from descending anymore. Very good. All right, my controls.
Your controls.
My controls. All right, so now looks like you're fighting against that. You can always trim anytime we're out flying around like this. So now what I'm going to demo to you is power off and power on stalls. So when we do power off stalls, we typically do them after slow flight because we're already set up for them. And Conway's over there. We'll be going over there here in just a second, but I'm getting turned around to head kind of back this direction. So the first step in power off stalls, and for this one I'm going to go ahead and turn the fuel pump on. But the first step is to run the before landing checklist, just like, because we're simulating a stall in the landing configuration, and we want you to be able to identify when you're stalling, and we also want you to be able to identify to fix it. So that's the whole point in practicing these. So seatbelts on, fuel selector valve, left tank still good, mixture full rich, throttle's set for now. And so what I'm going to do, you don't necessarily need to memorize anything. I just want you to take note of like what happens when the airplane gets to a really high angle of attack. So we'll do these later with you. I'm just demoing them today so you can see kind of what to expect in the future. So we're at slow flight already. So I'm going to pull the power and I'm going to pitch down just like we're trying to land the airplane, which in this plane we land, landing speed's about 60 knots. I'm going to get on a heading of, I should have got my heading first, but on a heading of east, 090, and I'm just going to raise the nose on the horizon. It will stall right here. So there's our first indication. You'll start feeling wing buffeting. There it is, wing buffeting. Then the nose drop, so max, relax. First notch of flaps. And in this plane, we don't use carb heat too often, but go ahead and turn it off just in case. And that just allows us to build a habit pattern, because some airplanes you land with carb heat on, and sometimes the carb heat should be on in certain conditions, which we'll talk about later. So after we get a positive rate of climb, second notch, now we're looking for 70 roughly, and a positive rate, flaps up. So all we're doing here is, you notice I really dumped the nose.
Yeah.
And that's to build our airspeed back up, break the stall. If we're visual flight conditions, we can see the ground. Breaking the stall is the most important thing. So that's kind of what we do there. Now I'll show you a power on stall. So the same thing can happen when you take off. It's a little bit harder to get this airplane to stall during a takeoff, but it is possible. So I want you to see what that's going to look like. So there's a couple ways to set up a power on stall, but the way I like to do it is in the takeoff configuration. Later on we'll do some in like a cruise configuration. So we're just going to set up for takeoff. So I'll get it set up on a heading here. I messed that up earlier, but we'll set up on a west heading here. And so basically we're going to simulate that we're going to take off. Carb heat's off for this one. Fuel pump's on. So we'll be flaps up for takeoffs. So we'll keep the flaps up for this one. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow down to my rotate speed of 65 knots, just like I'm doing a takeoff. And then I'll be at full power, and then I'm going to pitch the nose up and put like somewhere right in here at the bottom of the glare shield on the horizon. This is where we have to use ailerons to maintain our heading and then maintain right rudder.
Feel the wing buffeting?
Yep. I forgot to call that out, but I was trying to coach you.
I got it.
So just pitch down, and there's no flaps, there's no carb heat. So we just stay down and then just slowly bring the nose back up. And that maneuver is basically done. And I show you this to show you kind of what you're going to be practicing in the upcoming lessons. But the key takeaway here is if we stall the airplane, if I get any kind of indication like that, the most important thing to do is to break that.
Okay.
To reduce our angle of attack.
Yeah.
In the Air Force teaches us to use max power, max relax at the same time. But the most important thing is to break the stall. This just gives airflow over the rudder or the stabilator in this plane, so this gives you more control authority by doing both at the same time. That's why I like to teach both at the same time. But in reality, breaking the stall by pitching down is the most important thing. All right, you ready to fly?
I guess.
Your controls.
My controls.
Your controls. Just float out here just a second, and we're going to go over to Conway and do a couple touch and goes.
Whiskey's 4.5 miles to the southeast, inbound for landing, runway 23.
You can push some power in. I just took it out for a second. All right, so when we're on the ground in the future, I would like kind of plan this out better. But for us today, I'll just pull up Conway on the chart here. So we'll get the weather real quick, 118.775. I'll show you how this works. So this big ring starts this first thing, so 118.75. And then I'm going to switch this to here. Oh, I can't read, it's 775. And then you have to pull it out to get the quarter turns. There it goes.
Conway, Dennis F. Cantrell, Field Airport.
Automated weather observation 2-1-2-1 Zulu. Wind 190 at 14 knots. Visibility more than 10. Sky condition clear below 12,000. Temperature 14 Celsius. Dew point 0 Celsius. Altimeter 2993 inches of mercury.
So adjust your altimeter to 2993. So I get 6 right now.
Conway, Dennis F. Cantrell, Field Airport.
Automated weather observation 2-1.
So the winds are 190 at 4. So which runway do you think we want to land on?
190. So we want to land 04?
Well, 22 is like 30 degrees off. So 220 is that heading.
Okay.
So that would be like.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
So
we always try to land into the wind. Okay, so now you can slowly start turning left and kind of head that direction. But I want you to type in this frequency here while you're turning. You can speed up just a tiny bit. Yeah, a little power. So the frequency there is 12305.
You said 05?
Yep. Okay, so now we're there, so swap it. Good. Okay, so now, you see the airport over there? You got the river, and there's like some buildings
Okay,
right to the right of it.
Yeah, I see it.
So we're headed that way, and what we're going to do, just so you know, we're over here. We're going to come in and make a downwind like that, and land that
with
direction.
a left base turn.
Yep, and we're just going to do a few patterns over here like that. So the pattern over there today is 1,300 feet. So you can go ahead and descend down. And this is a standard pattern, so we're left-hand turns. And I'll go ahead and make a radio call. Conway traffic, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, 7 miles to the south, entering a left downwind for 22, Conway. All right, so when we're this close, you're cleared to go ahead and go down to 1,300 feet, which is the pattern altitude. Yeah, you're doing awesome for your first lesson.
I'm very impressed, actually.
Feels like a lot to remember.
It is. And actually, one of the cool things is you get to watch it again on this video. Okay, so what we do is you can see the runway going like this. We're going to enter, like, point straight at the field because we're going to enter on the downwind.
Okay.
On the side of this box right here where I drew.
Contact 93, Charlie Foxtrot. West.
Crosswind, runway 22, calling traffic.
Okay, someone's on crosswind.
So what does that mean?
So he's right here. That's where he is.
Okay.
He's going to be no factor for us.
So what are we trying to keep as far as an airspeed?
Just stay out of the yellow for now. Once we get close to the pattern, a good airspeed to fly in the pattern in this plane is 80 knots.
Okay.
Because that allows you to, or 90 knots, because that allows you, this wide arc means it's a safe speed.
Contact 93, Charlie Foxtrot. Left, downwind, runway 22, calling traffic.
Okay, so that guy might be a slight conflict. Conway traffic, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, 4 miles to the south. We're going to be entering a left downwind for 22, Conway. Okay, where is he? Where are you guys at on left downwind?
Oh, about those 1,000-foot markers.
Okay, cool. We don't see you yet. We're still about a mile to the south. Okay, so keep coming down. You can go ahead and slow down a little bit because there's somebody right here somewhere. Actually, go ahead and turn. Usually the people here make really big patterns, and so I just don't want to eat him up. I just don't know exactly where he is. I normally like to make smaller patterns, but I just don't know exactly where he is. And don't forget to trim if you're like struggling to...
Contact 92, Charlie Foxtrot, west base, runway 22, calling traffic.
Okay, so he's on left base now. He's no factor. You can come down a couple hundred more feet. So now we'll start running the checklist. All right, seatbelts on, fuel selector valve. Let's go ahead and go to right tank for me. Okay. All right, mixture full rich, throttle's set. You can push the power up a little bit. And fuel pump on. And then we'll get the rest to beam the numbers.
Conway traffic, we're 275 kilo, just departed Little Rock Adams Field at 2,800. Going to be landing at Conway, have the AS information. Traffic area, please advise.
Okay. Climb back up and turn right a little bit for me. Conway traffic, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, left downwind, 22, Conway.
Conway 93, Charlie Foxtrot, final runway 22, Conway traffic.
Come right a little bit more. You just got a little low there. Trying to make square or rectangular patterns, I should say. All right, beam our touchdown point in the wide arc. Lower that first notch of flaps. Carb heat staying off. And so now we're pitching for 70 knots. There's he is a beam us there. So now you can just pull the power back a little bit and pitch for 70 knots. So just a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Look out at the runway.
Are we trying to maintain 1,300?
No, we're
Okay.
trying to descend now, sorry. Look behind you. So go ahead and turn left for me. Conway traffic, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, left base, 22, Conway. All right, looking for 70 knots, so pitch down for me a little bit. Right now I'm mostly concerned about airspeed and getting down. How's this feel?
Okay.
Look over at the runway for me.
Yep.
We're super high, so go ahead and lower all the flaps. That'll help us get down. And then go ahead and turn to final here. Continue your turn. Conway traffic, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, base to final 22, Conway. Okay, so now we're high.
Conway traffic, we're at 275 kilo, 13 miles. Between Willock and Conway, you'll be doing a left base into 22.
Okay, so we're high, so we've got two tools to help us get down. Flaps, which we already have all of them in. They also have power. So you can actually pull the power a little bit. So pull the power, and this airplane will sink like a potato. So we want to fly right at 60 knots, which is perfect what you're doing there.
Conway traffic 92, Charlie Foxtrot, clear runway 22, Conway traffic.
And so pull that power. We're super high, so now what I want to do is I want to pick a reference point on my windscreen, and I want that to be on the threshold, because my aim point, I like you aiming at the threshold. If we go to big airports, we'll aim at those big dots in the middle, but here we'll do this. And as we're still, yeah, this is looking good. Come right for me a little bit. This is looking good. Always keep your hand on the throttle when you're close to the ground like this. All right, so now we're sinking, so push the power up. Start feeding power in, but not too much. Good. We're just catching that descent. A little more power.
Contact 93, 25 shot. Taxi.
Shut up. All right.
Runway traffic, bearing 27 Pop Kilo, 9 miles away.
Slowly work it
Entering
to
at
idle.
downwind for left base.
Slowly work it to idle. You just over control. Nose up. Idle power. Raise the nose. More right rudder. Okay.
Woo.
Take a breath. Raise the flaps. Carb heat's off. Just touch it. I know it's off, but and then power. Full power.
Are we taking off again?
Yep, we're doing a touch and go. Sorry if I wasn't clear. We want full power.
Bonanza 2939 around for departing runway 22, left turnout and departure to the southeast.
All right. All right, my controls.
Your controls?
My controls. Well, that's pretty good for our first time. Really, so the big thing is in the beginning, people either fall into two categories. They either over-control the airplane or they under-control the airplane. Most people over-control, which is what you did.
Okay.
You're just kind of going back and forth. This airplane's very stable, so what that means is it tries to go back to its original position.
Okay.
So it takes very small control inputs when we're going slow like that to get the airplane to do what you want it to do. So I'm going to do the next one just so you can kind of see. But I want you to shadow me on the controls.
Okay.
And just kind of feel what I'm doing. You don't have to right this second, but once we get on final over here, I want you to kind of see. And then we'll have you do another one. All right, left turn here. So we'll turn crosswind roughly 300 feet to pattern altitude. So here that's 1,000 feet.
Runway traffic, Bonanza 39 Alpha is going to stay on runway heading.
And we're trying to make it rectangle look over at the runway. This is somewhat rectangle, it's not the best, but all right, there's our 1,000 feet, and we're turning downwind.
Yeah, we got traffic behind us and traffic waiting to get on the runway too.
You see there's traffic behind us?
Yeah, just took off.
Okay. Conway traffic, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, left downwind 22, Conway. So this is where people should be in the pattern.
Taking off runway 23, stay in the pattern, Conway traffic.
Not way out there where they
Conway
usually
traffic,
are.
39 Alpha departing to the
In a low wing like this, your wing tip should be.
27 Papa Kilo, turning left base, runway 22.
Okay, he's on left base. Your wing should be roughly on the runway, maybe a little bit past it. And then you notice I'm kind of angled. That's because we have a crosswind that's pushing us into the runway.
Yeah.
All right, seatbelts on, fuel selectors on the proper tank, fuel pumps on, mixture full rich. All right, I'm a beam our touchdown point. Pull the power a little bit. 1500 is good in this plane. In the wide arc, first notch of flaps. Now we're just looking for 70. We're intentionally descending, and we're going to trim the airplane for 70 knots. So it'll just kind of do its own thing here.
Conway traffic,
Got traffic dead ahead too.
Okay. So he's making his patterns way too big. Should not be making a pattern that big. Alright, once we're a beam here.
Conway traffic, 92, Charlie Foxtrot, left crosswind, runway 22, Conway traffic.
We'll keep the flaps where they are for now. That'll keep us from going too low.
Conway traffic, bearing 27 Papa Kilo, 2 miles south on final runway 22.
Conway traffic, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, left base 22, Conway. See, these guys' patterns are about 3 miles too big. You're supposed to be 1/2 to 1 mile from the runway when you turn base, not 4 miles. Conway traffic, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, base to final 22, Conway. Okay, so we got a little bit messed up.
Conway traffic toward final 22, runway 22, 27 Papa.
got messed up because of that guy. We're still...
Contact 92, Charlie Foxtrot. Left, downwind, runway 22, contact.
So, alright, now you can shadow me on the controls here. Normally I would have already been at 60 knots. So now we're a little fast, so I'm just going to pitch up a little bit. So we always fix the airspeed first, and this is true in any plane you fly. Always fix the airspeed first, because that puts the appropriate amount of drag on the airplane. And then once you do that, you can start analyzing your height. Now we could use those lights down there, close to the white markers. Those are called the 1,000-footers, and then the patties on the side of them.
Up kilos off to Charlie.
But those take us right there. I like to land in the first couple hundred feet of the runway. So I'll aim for the threshold, and then that puts us on about the third stripe there. So I'm a little high. Is my...
Contact 92, Charlie Foxtrot. Left base, runway 22, contact.
Conway traffic, Cherokee 734 at Juliet, final 22, Conway. Alright, so we're still high, and so I just need to drop it down, because our reference point on the windscreen is above the threshold.
Okay.
So we'll just pull that power back, and that just lets the airplane sink. I'm getting slow, so I'm just going to let the nose drop, and I'll just put in a little power to offset.
Contact 92, Charlie Foxtrot, doing a right 360 on the left base, contact.
Okay, so now we're just kind of floating down here. So we got crosswinds that way, that's why it's that way. So somewhere right in here, I know I'm going to make the runway, so I'm just going to go to idle power. And then we'll just gently bring it above the runway and just keep the nose right here. And you'll notice it takes more and more backstick pressure to keep it from settling down. Like, it wasn't just right here, it was like this.
Yep.
To keep us from sinking. Take a breath, carb heats off, flaps are up, power. Fuel pump staying on.
As you're probably noticing, landings can be pretty difficult to master, especially for new student pilots. That's why I wrote this book called The Triangle Method, which is a complete guide to landings. And this book takes a lot of what I learned from my military flight training and puts it into something that's easy to digest with lots of pictures and other stuff that I know will help you guys on your landing. So if you want to check this book out, you can get a digital copy of this on freepilottraining.net for $10. Or if you like physical books like this one, you can get this book on Amazon for a pretty low price. So if you want to help out the channel and also help yourself out on your landings, be sure to check those out.
Okay, you ready to fly? Your controls.
My controls.
Your controls. Alright, give me some right rudder. Counteract those left turning tendencies. Just drive it straight ahead until we hit roughly 1,000, we'll turn left. Alright, clear left.
Clear left.
We'll do this one, then we'll go back. Yeah, so just gentle control inputs. Take a look at the runway for me. That's good spacing, that's good perpendicular, and then roll right back into it. Conway traffic, Cherokee 734 at Juliet, left downwind 22, Conway. Come right a little bit more. I know this is a good spacing, but apparently nobody here likes good spacing. And then we'll, pull that power back. Yeah, come right a little bit more. All right, seatbelts on, fuel selector, right tank is good. Fuel pump staying on, mixture full rich. We'll get the rest of beam our numbers. Okay, just keep driving this way. So as soon as we're abeam our touchdown point, this is when we start descending. I call this the perch point. That's like a military term.
Okay.
So pull the power back a little bit.
Flaps up 1 notch.
Make sure you're in the wide arc. You are. Yep.
Okay.
First notch. And then carb heat staying off. You can just, that's a good habit pattern even though we're not using it. And then we'll pitch for 70. So it'll actually be a pitch up. Now look at the runway for me. So this is where you normally would turn. But we're going to drive it out another potato today to get you stable. All right, you can go ahead and turn. Pitch for 70 for me. Down. Conway traffic, Cherokee 734 at Juliet, left base, 22, Conway. There you go. Yeah. This is really...
Contact 92, Charlie Foxtrot, clear runway 22.
Second notch.
Taxiing runway 22 via Alpha, contact.
Good. We're a little bit further out than where we should be, but this is good in the beginning, like where you should be turning. All right, looking for 70, pitch down for me a little bit. This is where the stuff...
By the way, Porter, you don't have to fly until 4 if you don't want to, but you have until then if you want to. Okay, I think this is going to be the last one. Okay, that was good.
All right, looking for 60 now, so flaps and then 60.
How many have you done so far? Oh, that was 3. Okay, perfect, never mind. I got in my mind you...
Shut up. I need to make a radio call. Give me some power. Feed that power in. Pitch down, power. Pitch down, power. Pitch down, power. More power, more power, more power. You can feel us kind of sinking.
Yep.
Okay, now I'll make the radio call. Conway, 7348 Juliet, final 22, Conway. Sorry, that guy, I don't like it when people do that, talk on the radios when you're trying to make radio calls. Just making non-important radio calls. Okay, we're climbing up, so less power. Keep your hand on the throttle for me. I know it's like a struggle. We do have a slight crosswind like that.
Okay, we're going to make the runway, so idle?
Yep, idle power. And just bring it down. Keep your hand on the throttle in case we need to go around. Just bring it down. Keep coming down. Keep coming down. Nose up, right rudder. Okay. Okay, take a breath. Flaps. Carb heat. I know it's off.
Okay.
Power. Okay. Just waiting for 65. There it is. Good. Okay, so my controls.
Your controls?
My controls. So, that was good, but if you probably didn't notice, but we're slight crab in landing. I might have given you a little bit of right rudder to help you.
I
and
felt
then
it.
we flared a tiny bit high, so that made us kind of settle. So if you could have got down a tiny bit more and then given us right rudder.
Okay, before pulling back?
Yeah,
okay.
That would have been perfect. So yeah. Okay, your controls.
My controls?
Your controls. All right, after takeoff checklist, flaps are up, fuel pump off, landing light off. After takeoff checklist is complete. Okay, now let's head back to North Little Rock.
All right, what altitude do we need to climb to?
So any altitude below 3,000 is good here. I would just do like 2,500.
Okay, and heading?
Let's see here. I tell you what, for now, just head towards Pinnacle, and I want you to try to use this. And just prioritize flying the airplane, but I also want you to kind of get used to using this. So this button right here is the primary button. It's called Direct to.
Contact 93, Charlie Foxtrot, taking off runway 22, stay in the pattern, Conway traffic.
I'll make a radio call real quick. Conway traffic, Cherokee 734 Juliet, departing to the south, Conway. Okay, yeah, so head that way. So this button right here is called Direct to, and so you usually will start with that. So hit that Direct to button, the bow and arrow, and then so North Little Rock is K-O-R-K. So the K is good. So we'll scroll. So the outer one like selects them, and then the bigger one, the inner one, moves on to the next one. So move on to the next one with the bigger one. There you go. Oh, I'm helping you look outside too.
Okay.
I think you actually hit a 0.
Oh, that's confusing.
Yeah. I'm helping you look outside. There
Okay.
Yeah. R.
Okay.
Okay, and now you just hit enter. And then one more time. Now this guy, okay, we're already in map mode, but if it doesn't come up with a map, you can hit this little guy and it'll give you like a map mode. But if it comes up like that, then you just want to push this map mode button. And then zooming out and zooming in. So this is taking you directly to the airport, but the way we actually get into this airport is like, you kind of have to go over here towards Pinnacle and then kind of work your way in. So this is good heading right here. We'll get the weather over at Conway, or not Conway, but North Little Rock. 2377. You got to pull that out to get the quarter turns. There you go. Now you can swap it.
10. Sky condition clear below 12,000. Temperature 1 degrees Celsius. Dew point -2 Celsius. 2 inches of mercury. North Little Rock Municipal Airport. Automated weather observation 214 Zulu. Wind 220 at 13 knots. Visibility more than 10. Sky condition clear below 12,000. Temperature 13 Celsius. Dew point -2 Celsius. Altimeter 2 inches of mercury.
Okay, we're good then.
Okay.
10 miles to the east, 1,000 feet.
I already got North Little Rock in there for you. So winds are 220, so we'll land on the same runway that we took off from. So that just kind of gives us, the main thing is winds, clouds, if you're like flying in from a long ways away, visibility. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to come in from out here, and we're going to enter a right downwind and fly like this. Does that make sense?
Okay.
This airport's kind of weird getting into, which you've already seen. Once you get used to it, it's really not too bad. We just need to get down to 1,500 before getting under this shelf right here. This will be the last landing. So kind of my visual things I'm looking for out here to keep you, if you don't have a GPS, this is what we call pilotage, when you just use landmarks to navigate, so you stay clear of airspace and stuff. So Pinnacle's a good one. So I would try to be down at like 1,700 or lower by Pinnacle. And then, yeah, because we're at like 25 right now. And then once you get down to 1,700, there's 2 water towers over there. Underneath that white spot, that's where I would kind of descend down to, or head towards after we do that. And that bridge right there, the second bridge is basically where the Class Charlie starts at the surface. So you don't want to go in there without any kind of talking to ATC, because that's where the big Class Charlie is. Yeah, this is good right here, 1,700.
North Rock traffic Cherokee 42 Kilo Alpha is on a 5-mile final, runway 5, full terminal land, runway 23, North Rock.
So we should be making radio calls roughly 10 miles and 5 miles out. So we're about 10 miles now, so I'll make that radio call. North Little Rock traffic, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, 10 miles to the west, 1,700 inbound for 23, North Little Rock.
North Little Rock traffic, Cherokee 123 Charlie, 1735 on Charlie, North Little Rock.
Alright, so you can just head towards those 2 water towers, just go right between them. Yeah, this is good altitude.
North Little Rock traffic, helicopter 525 Alaska is 3.5 miles to the east, 1,000 feet inbound for straight in for the east ramp, North Little Rock.
You say helicopter?
Yeah, I couldn't tell, but I see a aircraft right there.
Yep.
11:30, roughly 11. We'll just kind of keep an eye out for him. And this is the whole point in making radio calls, is just announcing your position well so other people can tell where you are and not crash into them. I'm not sure why that guy didn't really, maybe I just didn't hear him, but I didn't really hear anybody when we got close to that guy coming in. That actually might be a Black Hawk, I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure I heard helicopter.
Probably is.
North Rock traffic Cherokee 14 Kilo Alpha is mile and a half final 5, full terminal land 23, North Rock.
Yeah, that looks like a Black Hawk to me. Well, I don't really understand why you would operate, even military, without ADS-B on it. It literally makes 0 sense to me. But what do I know? Yeah, this is looking good.
So should I be using the rudder pedals to
North Rock
straighten this
traffic
out?
Cherokee 14 Kilo Alpha is turning left to enter the right downwind, runway 23, North Rock.
Because I feel like we're flying sideways.
That's actually good, because it's because of the winds.
Okay.
We actually have winds 200 or 220, so you're getting pushed. That we should be crabbing into the wind like that to keep us from drifting.
Okay.
So it's just like a boat. You know, you would drive like this, but anytime you use the ailerons, you should also use the rudder with it. These should be tied together to account for something called adverse yaw, in case you haven't already gone through that ground lesson.
Yeah.
But yeah, when we're just flying out here, we should be, if there's a crosswind, we will be tilted into the wind and flying at an angle.
Okay.
Let me make a radio call real quick. North Little Rock traffic, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, 5 miles to the west, 1,700 inbound for 23, North Little Rock. Okay, so that's Camp Robinson. That's
North Little Rock traffic, Skyline 763 Whiskey Echo is 9 miles northwest, headed for North Little Rock.
That's
1500.
That's North Little Rock.
North Little Rock traffic, Cherokee 2 Kilo Alpha is right base 23, full stop, North Little Rock.
Okay, he's right base, full stop. That's the main runway right there, and we're going to be coming around this way and landing that way.
Okay.
So you can go ahead and kind of head that, make it turn that direction. And the traffic pattern is 1600 here, so this is a good altitude to stick at. And if you ever get rushed, you can start your before landing checklist out here. There's nothing wrong with starting it out here. And you always hear me say seatbelts on, but what that means to me is like, if I have a passenger, like, hey, you guys make sure you're buckled up. But you can keep saying seatbelts on, but if you have a passenger, I'd be like, hey, buckle up if you're not already buckled up, because they need to be buckled up for this. And then fuel selector, either one looks fine. And then make sure best power, which is full rich here today. We're just waiting for a beam of numbers now. You want to make a radio call? The downwind call? You don't have to.
I don't remember what to say. If you want to coach me, I'll make it.
It'll be North Little Rock traffic, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, right downwind 23, North Little Rock. You don't have to.
Right downwind 23, North Little Rock.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Make that now.
Yep.
North Little Rock traffic 7348 Juliet, right downwind 23, North Little Rock.
Perfect. Perfect. It's not that hard. It's just a matter of remembering what to say. That's actually the base right there, Little Rock Air Force Base. Your altitude looks good. He's on the runway. He should be well clear by the time we get over there. You can go ahead and start slowing down. Pitch up a little bit and slow down. Pull the power. Oh, hold on.
Nope.
Pull the power back a little bit. Pitch up.
North Little Rock traffic, Cherokee 42 Kilo Alpha, clear runway 23, North Little Rock traffic.
All right, there's the beam, our touchdown point. Pull the power.
North Little Rock traffic, Skyline 736 Whiskey Echo is 5 miles northwest, 1500, North Little Rock.
You can go ahead and lower that first notch of flaps. Now we're just looking for 70. Look at the runway, we're kind of angling towards it, so come back this way a little bit. Alright, clear right. You can turn right and lower that second notch. North Little Rock traffic, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, right base 23, North Little Rock. How's this look?
Maybe a little high?
Yeah. So we got tools we can use. Yeah, that's one. Less power helps us get down. And then flaps is the other one.
So I can pull that last notch?
Camp Robinson traffic, Skyline 736 Whiskey Echo is crossing midfield eastbound, 1500.
So now we're getting caught up, so start feeding that power back in. North Little Rock traffic, Cherokee 7348 Juliet, final 23, full stop, North Little Rock. All right, so now we're looking for 60,
North Little Rock
so
traffic,
pitch up.
2 Kilo Alpha, taxiing
And less
to the
power.
west by
There we
Delta
go.
and Alpha, North Little Rock.
All right, less power. You might need idle power for just a second to get us caught up. Go idle power for me for just a second. Get us pitched
North Little
down.
Rock traffic, Skyline 763 Whiskey Echo is downwind, runway
Hand on the throttle just in case we need to
17,
go
North Little
around.
Rock.
All right, keep coming down. All right, start feeding the power back in. More power, nose down. Keep coming down, keep coming down. Less controls. All right, idle power. Hand on the throttle, nose up, nose up, nose up, nose up. Oh, too much. All right, just take a breath and we're just gonna exit right up here. Just go. Anytime this is happening right here, we're gonna plan on just stopping, not stopping, but slowing down straight ahead. So just slow down straight ahead. You can go ahead and put your feet on the brakes and just slow down straight ahead. And as soon as you're 100% you're going to make it, that's what I want. Yeah.
36 Whiskey Echo is turning base, runway 17 North Little Rock.
Okay. Good. So we're going to drive past these lines right here and just stop on the other side of them.
North Little Rock traffic, Cherokee 123 Juliet Charlie's taking off runway
just stop right here.
North Little Rock.
North Little Rock traffic, Cherokee 734 Juliet, clear of runway 23 North Little Rock. Okay, so a good thing to remember is once you get more proficient, I don't mind you like doing flaps and stuff, but when you're full stop landing, just get clear of the runway and then run the after landing checklist after that. So now that we're clear of the runway, we'll run the after landing checklist. Flaps are up. You already got that. Carb heat off. We'll just touch it. Fuel pump off. Oops, we forgot that. That was my fault. Lights as required. Trim set for takeoff. So you can go ahead and come up here and just move that back to neutral.
Little Rock traffic, Skyline 736 Whiskey Echo is turning final, runway 17 North Little Rock, full stop.
That's done. We're clear to taxi back.